Hello Tubesters, it's Gav, and yes, I'm back with another video. I can't believe it. It'll all change next week when the wife goes back to work and it's really noisy in the house. So we might as well do them while we can. So finally finished HMS Sea Dog, as you can see here. She's an S-class submarine, and I've set her in 1943. Her pennant number is P216, and you can just about see it written on, can you? Can we, Gav? Written on the side there. Let's put that there. There we go. I don't know if that's supposed to be a handle around there or what it probably is. I couldn't see any on the original sub. But so I've had to, obviously I can't go underneath with the painting on the writing, so I've just had to do my best. But believe me, it does say P216. We used to, on a lot of our subs, not always, but a lot of the subs you'll see photographs of great big white letters down the side of the conning tower. It's a resin submarine. This is here for context even, or just even, yes, it's the size of smaller than your average painting brush. And it was gifted to me by Marra of the channel, Rob. Thank you, Rob. You know, I'll say it enough times. It's a 3D print. Problems with it. There was the major problem of for some reason when they printed it, the conning tower had like an upward slant to it. So when you put it down, obviously it rocked, but it also had a tiny backward slant as well. So it kept, wobbling, and I kept thinking, well, if I pull the conning tower back, it's going to be too high up. This lip here is supposed to be out. I don't think we can see it much more, can we, Gav? I'll put her on the side in a bit and might be able to see a bit better. So that had to have some filling done to it. As they always say, we're modelers. It's not even above my skill to do that. So that was done. And apart from that, it is what it is. It's a great little kit. You don't have to do anything to it apart from stick the conning tower down, stick the main deck gun down, and there's a very, very tiny, which I'd almost forgotten because you can't even see it when I'm looking over. I have put the strength into the cables that I suppose support the periscopes. You might be able to see the very tiny thin thread there. I've only got ultra thin. I could have probably done with a thicker thread, really. How accurate the sub is, not 100%. Also, I've these dive planes here. They really just go up at they don't really. There's no real depth to them on the side, so I've done a false paint line round just to try and show them up as dive planes rather than just two stick up bits on the side. So they will obviously move along with the ballast, but you'll put your submarine up and down when it's under the water. What we say, the clay base. I can't remember what it is now. Just the air dried clay. Shame he uses it all the time. And then I've just painted it on. I put a satin coat on, which it's an old satin, and it's left lots of little glints, which I'm calling the glints on the waves. I tried putting the gloss on, if you remember HMS Amethyst, and I really wasn't happy with that. It was too glossy, whereas I'm quite happy with this. This is a classic inland sea lock stroke, a bit like or a bit down in England, like the Bristol Channel, around parts of Wales, where you've got a fair bit of silt and everything, and it gives it like a browny greeny look to the water. And that's what I've done there. I think it looks actually all right. Robert already sent me. He's often sent me ships, and usually there's several in a box. And the one that I've made previous, HMS Amethyst, he also put crewmen in there, 3D printed crew that he bought, and I've been using those sparingly. So I've added 3 on the outer casing here. The way I'm seeing it, she's going down a sea lock ready to start operations in the North Sea. And these are the last 3. I've painted the one guy all in darkish blue. Well, in fact, I might have even done it in black, because at this scale it doesn't really matter. But he's I was saying, he's a petty officer, and I've got 2 ratings in there. They commonly wear jumpers in the submarines. Can you see there? One guy further up. I've only put two fellas in the conning tower. One again in like the blue trim of like an officer or pet officer, and one in a white jersey. Although I've seen officers and POs also in the jerseys, only because it's quite cramped in there. And at this scale, I thought, if it was like my battleship Yamato, you're looking down at a broader expanse. But here, I couldn't. I did look at different photographs, how many were in the conning tower, and I just thought, well, I think it's just a couple, just to show that they're there. As I say, the way I'm seeing it, she's not. She's probably got whether it's an armed trawler or a couple of one or two motor launches, armed motor launches, going with her down the sea lock. And I suppose I'm not sure how it works with the Royal Navy, but there'd be minefields that she'd have to go through. Maybe a minesweeper's out there waiting for her, and then as soon as she clears the minefields, she can submerge and do all the drills ready for proper active service. So, Sea Dog survived the war. I think it was around 4. I should have had all this written down, but I'm just taking a quiet moment to give you the video. She survived the war, and um, not long after she was scrapped, I believe. A lot of these were pretty worn out from wartime service, but she started in northern waters around Norway, the North Sea, around up maybe even into the Bering Seas and stuff. She did sink one German merchant vessel of around 8,000 tons, and I think the rest of her sinkings came in the Pacific when she went down to the Far East. And operated obviously against Singapore and all around there, where she was quite successful, but with deck gun actions, like a lot of British subs they had a lot of small kills, tugboats, just small coasters really, which were easy to sink, either because of the shallow draft. You could waste a torpedo going straight underneath them, and it was just easier to blast them with a deck gun and maybe open up with the anti-aircraft gun, the 20mm. So there you go. Sorry about the clip clopping. That's just nugget going around. So that's a sort of above view. So it's a flat print. So you can see the grey that you can see with the sea coming up to it. That's what you get. You get a small pit of the ballast tanks, which is perfect really. I've done a fairly rusty, only because I'd seen it, not necessarily. There is a colour photograph of her and one of us. No, it's not one of her sisters, but there's two subs in one of the locks up in Scotland. And you couldn't really see any details on it. It was a colour photo, or one that's been recoloured, I don't know. But I did see other colour photos or recolours, and I know you've got to be a bit careful with those. And they showed them in some cases fairly shabby if they'd been on operations for a while, so fairly rusty. There was a few bits of new metal showing through, so I've done a couple of tiny white bits showing bits of paint that's freshly knocked off. And then just done a highlighter around the conning tower and anything that stands out really. But yeah, great. As I say, that I probably used the easy line I used. You can't even see it with that black background, but there is an easy line fore and aft. You might see it against the sea there, but I think, although it's quite scaled, I don't know if it could have maybe done with a thicker one because you don't really see it, but it goes to the bow and the stern. And as I say, I'm not sure if that's anything to do with the radios or more to do with strengthening for the periscope setups. I'm not 100% sure. And these subs did have this strengthening bar between them, unlike other submarines that I've seen. So there you go. Again, Rob, thank you very, very much. This has all been, apart from the base, which is an old. The base is really riffy. I'm sorry, I just didn't have anything decent to mount it on, and I just wanted to get. I liked it that much. I just wanted to get on it. So it's just a cork floor tile that I've cut up. This is a one-piece section of styrene sheet that I stuck on that cork tile, just painted it black, and then done the stuff at the side. I'm changing this over because this is for my own collection. This didn't really work, as you can see, so that's going to be. My wife's going to print me off a thing, and I can stick it in the middle then, and just have the brass on the outside. But it tells you what it does, it is, and whatever. So yeah, HMS Sea Dog, Royal Navy S-class submarine. There would have been a couple more tensioning wires going off these two main wires, but I thought that was a bit not above my skill set, but you wouldn't see them and I wasn't sure how many times I'd be catching them. But one thing I have noticed, which I can't see through the camera, is I should have cut off. There's a couple of bits at the end of the wire here that need trimming off. Never mind. Right, look after yourselves. I hope that was interest to somebody. Again, Rob, you always come up trumps, Mara, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very, very much, Mara. And if you would like this back, just pop a thing in the comments. I can't guarantee the easy line surviving or the crew not falling off, but I'll do my best to wrap it up, and you can have her back with pleasure, Mara. I just had the fun of building her. That's what I got my kick out of. So if you would like it, Rob, just give me a shout. Either message me in the usual way, or just put a comment, and you can have her back with pleasure. So look after yourselves, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.